Final race of the weekend then, the Kumho BMW Championship. The result of race 1 gives the grid for race 2, so it's Niall Bradley and Jason West on the front row of the grid. The other Class A cars behind, Russell Dack and Brad Sheehan on row 2, James Card and Brian Bransom on row 3, hoping for a better start this time, Brian Bransom, after he stalled in race 1. Then we've got the two Class C cars, Jasper Sapra and Kevin Denwood on the 4th row, and then we've got the BMW Minis, Zach Blackwell on row 5 alongside Dan Butcher-Lord. Row 6 is Rob Austin and Lee Sullivan, Piers Henderson and Neil Clark on row 7. Row 8, Steve Webb alongside the Invitation Class 330ci BMW with Cavan Granger. Tim Bill on row 9 alongside Charlie Heatley. And back on row 10, James Ford alongside Chris Walton, the Class D and B lone entries. Two more BMW Minis, Alan Lee and Yonut Karari. Trevor Ford in the number 25, he's in Class C alongside Nigel Williams. And Andy Langley, number 51. Looks like he is there, but I think he's starting from the pit lane. The only retirement from race 1, he of course went into the gravel in the tyre wall at Paddock Hill Bend. But I think Andy Langley is starting from the pit lane after some repairs. So it looks like we've got a full complement of cars. That's good for the final race of this very busy Easter weekend here at Brands Hatch. Thank you very much indeed, everyone, for being with us. Let's see what's going to happen this time. Up to the grid they come. I think they will get an extra green flag lap as well, as per the championship regulations. Saw them do this at Silverstone too. Whole phalanx of Mini Cooper S's. Great to have them swelling the BMW Championship grid. There are the big M3s at the front. Winner of this race should come from one of those first 3 rows. Niall Bradley, the earlier winner in the Invitation class, on pole. Jason West, top scorer in Class A, alongside him. Rear wing stayed intact this time, unlike Silverstone when he had a bit of contact with, I think it was Brian Branson. It was one of the orange cars, certainly. Watch for James Card. A slightly quiet race by his standards in race 1, the Silver Machine. Brad Sheehan loves racing here at Brands Hatch in that pink and white Days of Thunder inspired car. The battle in Class C between Jasper Sapra and Kevin Denwood in that very smart number 7 compact, the reigning overall champion. Of course, we could see one of the BMW Minis take the title this year. They were experimental class last year, now eligible for points. Just waiting for one of the BMW Minis to get into the correct position further back there. That was Tim Bill, number 6. Waiting to see if they get an extra green flag lap before they get this one underway. They go for the green flag lap then. Final chance to heat up their Kumho tyres. I would say across everything this weekend, BMWs are the most numerous cars. We have a lot of them in the touring car races as well. Great looking cars, the E46 M3s in front of the grid. E36 in there as well, that's Russell Dack. That's for Sapper and an E36 as well. And then a mass of minis. 330i there of Cavan Granger, 330ci, another E46 shape. Good to see a large proportion of the crowd staying behind to see this final race. Some going home after the truck race, of course, as some might expect, but to see most of the crowd staying behind for our final race action of the weekend. Should be a good battle there in Class C, Jazz Sapper and Kevin Denwood. keeping an eye on. Battling the minis as well. Zach Blackwell, their earlier winner, in number 411. Up to the grid they come then. Now, whether Andy Langley's joined the back of the grid, I'm not sure. Whether he's going to start from the pit lane. There's Nigel Williams. No, Langley's not there, so he's going to be starting, if at all, he'll start from the pits. I did see his car in the pit lane, ready to go. Trevor Ford, BMW Racing Drivers Club chairman. Son James out in this race as well. I'm sure Trevor's granddaughter Maddie will be cheering the drivers on. She's sort of an unofficial mascot for this championship a few years ago. Okay, cars on the grid for the final race on BARC TV this weekend. Race 2 for the Kumho BMW Championship. This will be a 15-minute race. Niall Bradley in pole position, Jason West alongside him, Russell Dack, Brad Sheehan, James Card and Brian Bransom filling the first 3 rows, the invitation and the Class A cars. Overall victory will be contested between those first 3 rows, I would think. Then the 2 Class C cars of Sapra and Denwood. Away they go. Good start by one of the BMW Minis in there. Cavan Granger charging up the outside as well. Into that first corner. Who's got the lead? It is the pole man, Niall Bradley. Brad Sheehan's made a good start in the 28s, tries to make the move to the inside to challenge Jason West for second place, but it's Niall Bradley who has got the lead. Side by side for second into Druids between Sheehan and West. Tucked in behind them is Russell Datt. We've got a couple of BMW Minis off in the gravel at the back. We'll try and identify them in a moment. Jason West has lost that second place. Brad Sheehan goes through, Russell Dack up there as well, and West a bit sideways off the curb. Russell Dack goes through, James Card is there on the inside as well, with 2 BMW Minis off at Paddock Bend. I saw facing backwards. That might be a safety car. Yes, there they are, tangling together towards the back. Can't quite make out who they are at the moment. We'll pick that up in a second. 190 Alan Lee is one of them. He's buried in the gravel, so that's almost certainly going to be a safety car. Yes, indeed it is. The yellow's out, so Alan Lee is one of the cars we lost there. Let's try and work out who the other one is. Russell Dack, I can tell you his transponder isn't working because he hasn't come through according to the timing stream, but he's there in 3rd place. There's the other car, that's the number 6, which is Tim Bill. He's frustrated. That's his race over almost before it had begun. Alan Lee off as well. Alan's car stuck in the gravel, so the safety car will come out. Andy Langley, I can tell you though, has joined from the pits, so he is out there. It's good to see. So Niall Bradley from Brad Sheehan. And Russell Dack in 3rd, although according to the timing screen he didn't complete the first lap, so his transponder isn't working. Jason West down to 4th, didn't have the best first lap there. Then Card, Brian Bransom, a better start from him this time. No need for a big recovery truck here, of course. We saw earlier on. Just the pickup truck and the tow rope for number 190, Alan Lee, is Mini Cooper S, the man from Norwich. The Kia pace car leading them round. Just keeping their Kumho tyres warm. There is Andy Langley, so not too much damage to the number 51 at the back there behind Nigel Williams. Now, can Niall Bradley hang on for a second win? Or will the 5 Class A runners behind him usurp the Brands Hatch specialist? Jasvir Sapra leads Class C. There's one entry in Classes B and D. We mentioned Chris Walton and James Ford further back. The car is now off the circuit, towed off by the pickup. Well done to the marshals and the recovery crew. Hopefully we can go racing again this time through. Waiting for see if the light will go off on top of the safety car. Still on at the moment. Just waiting the signal from the marshals. Yes, the light goes out, so we're going racing again this time. We'll have just over 10 minutes of racing time remaining. You can see the drivers react. They all start to get back on the throttle immediately they see that light go out. Fair play to the marshal there. A very quick recovery job on Alan Lee's BMW Mini. So we've lost Alan, we've also lost Tim Bill. Here we go then. Green flag is out and away they go. They can't pass until the timing line, and Brad Sheehan tries an attack up the outsides. They're going to Paddock Hill Bend for the first lap of the restart. The tyres will be slightly cooler, of course. Despite the weaving to keep the heat in them. Niall Bradley leads from Brad Sheehan. Third place is Russell Dack. Here comes Jason West in the black, number 76. There's Brian Bransom in 6th position behind James Carr. Those 6, the most powerful cars, breaking away as expected from the rest. The sun starts to set here on this Easter Sunday at Brands Hatch. Kevin Denwood's got ahead of Jazz Sapra. That's the battle for the lead in Class C. It's the other way round in race 1. Through Surtees they come. First lap of the restart. Green flags waving from the marshals' posts around the circuit. James Carr, the double winner at Silverstone, tries to fight back. Niall Bradley leads the way in car 47. Brian Bransom dropping away very slightly from this lead pack as they go towards Paddock Hill Bend. Once again, it's Bradley from Sheehan, Dack, West, Carr, Bransom. Kevin Denwood and Jasvir Sapra battling it out behind. Denwood leads Class C. Very evenly matched, these M3s. What about the Mini battle? There's been a change there. Zach Blackwell has lost the lead of the BMW Minis. Dan Butcher-Lord, number 23 in the navy blue car there, has the lead ahead of Lee Sullivan in the 68s. Zach Blackwell third ahead of Rob Austin, and then Charlie Heatley in the 44. They're having their own race a little further back. This group having their own race up front, the half dozen M3s, certainly 6 of the best. Over the line they go. It's Niall Bradley leading the way, 50.5 seconds exactly. That's out through. Jason West having a go for third place on the inside at Paddock Hill Bend, and he's going through. Good move, Jason West up into third position behind Brad Sheehan, but fighting back is the Dackmeister, Russell Dack in the 22. Back up the inside into Druids, takes the place back again. James Carr thinks, I'll get involved in this as well. If you're going to scrap with each other, I'll join in. Dack back into third place. West holds off Card for fourth place. On Cooper Straight, Niall Bradley able to escape as the rest squabble behind him. Gap was 1.3 seconds last time through. Brad Sheehan in the pink car in second. They fling these rear-wheel drive cars sideways through Surtees and McLaren. The 26 of Brian Bransom in there in 6th position. James Card on the tail of Jason West, now trying to take that 4th place away. Chris briefly got third. Here comes Card on the outside at Paddock Hill Bend. Now Russell Dack is going after Brad Sheehan for second position. It's a good run by Russell, the ex-overall champion in a BMW Compact in Class C when he won that. Kevin Denwood in Class C last season won the overall championship. But I reckon this year it will either be a Class A driver or one of the Minis that could take the overall title. Of course, as long as they don't battle too hard and take points off each other in their classes. That's how it used to be in the multi-class era in the BTCC. Charlie Heatley giving chase to the 237 who's got through there, Piers Henderson. As the leaders go over the line. Bradley leads from Brad Sheehan by 2.5 seconds now. He's pulling away. New fastest lap, 50.298 seconds for the race leader, Niall Bradley. He really is a specialist here at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit. And now Russell Dack trying to make a move at the inside, and Brad Sheehan didn't see him there. He closes the door. There's a bit of contact there. Dack goes over the curbs. That's lost him ground. Could allow Jason West to come through. Russell Dack, I would wager, wouldn't be too happy there. And now he'll try and go after Brad Sheehan again. James Card closing up as well. 4 of them for second place. Bradley lapping Nigel Williams in the number 13. Been a quiet day for him. James Card trying to close on West once again. And a gap back to Brian Bransom. Here are the Minis. Lee Sullivan under fire from Rob Austin. This is for third in the BMW Minis. It's still Dan Butcher-Lord who leads their class ahead of Zach Blackwell. It's the lead pack laps. Number 13 there of Nigel Williams. James Card losing a little bit of ground there. Saw Dak ready to try again to attack Brad Sheehan, but they're in back marker traffic. Carrare goes a lap down, as does Andy Langley in the 51. None the worse for his bit of rally crossing earlier. Look at the lead Niall Bradley's got now. He's pulled away as the rest scrap behind him, and James Card's all over Jason West for fourth place. Russell Dak is back up with Brad Sheehan after their narrow squeak at Druids earlier on. 5.5 minutes of the race still to go. Second race of the weekend, round 4 for the Kumho BMW Championship of 2022. Had one double win this year, James Card. It was Jason West who topped Class A earlier on, but at the moment, Class A is led by Brad Sheehan, and he'll get the lion's share of the points. Unless Russell Dak can get through. There's West ahead of Card, Ransom next, and some back markers. There's Andy Langley. Good repair job on that car. Heading towards the closing stages now, the final third of the race. The white flag waving, somebody slowing. I think that was Chris Walton, the 74 car. Yes, he's pulling off. Saw a white flag. White flag means slow-moving vehicle or emergency vehicle on the circuit, and it's cocked out on the Cooper straight. I hope we're not going to have another safety car. That's the number 74 of Chris Walton, the only Class B car in the race. He's trying to get it to a position of safety, but the car has let him down. Now, the second place battle has got a heck of a lot of back markers ahead of it here. Niall Bradley's already got through them. Who are they coming up to lap? One of the Fords. That's James Ford, number 69. He signals out of the way, moves aside at Graham Hill Bend. No problem at all. Niall Bradley gets through. There's yellow flags out there, so they're going to have to be careful. I think Chris Walton, yes, he's parked against the barrier there. So I think we'll be okay, covered with yellow flags. Blue flags waving at the back markers. One of the Minis gets out of the way. The 53 of Neil Clark. Cavan Granger being lapped as well. 3.5 minutes to go. Niall Bradley leads Bradley Sheehan by 3.3 seconds. The marshals are trying to get Chris Walton to move along towards the paddock entrance on the Cooper straight there, but he can't do so. Car refusing to play. Here comes Russell Dak. He's up on the outside there at Druids, trying to challenge Brad Sheehan for second place. Always battling, of course, allowing Niall Bradley to extend his lead. They're lapping Lee Sullivan, and he's in the top 3 of the BMW Minis. That shows the gulf in performance between the Class A M3s and the rest of the grid. So this battle for second rages on. Niall Bradley, no problem out in front. See what the gap is this time. It was 3.3 seconds. It's 3.1 seconds. So if anything, they've closed a little bit. That's because the leader was dealing with a couple of back markers ahead. Oh, Lee Sullivan's pulled into the pits. So one of the BMW Minis in trouble. He's just come into the pits. Andy Langley's pulled in as well. So no points for him this weekend. Still Russell Dak harrying Brad Sheehan for second place. Lapping Rob Austin. There's the 25 of Trevor Ford. Continues to battle on. He'll be leading. Is he leading? No, he's Class C. It's James who's Class D. Sorry, I always get them mixed up. Kevin Denwood's the leader in Class C in 7th place. Blue flag wave to Piers Henderson. He lets the battle for second through. There we can see the class leaders. Niall Bradley in the invitation class. So it's Brad Sheehan leading Class A. Kevin Denwood Class C. The Minis now led once again by Zach Blackwell. Have we lost Dan Butcher-Lord? Let's have a look further back. Yes, we have. We've lost the 23. So the BMW Mini leader's starting to drop out, surprisingly, in the closing stage of this race. I wonder, did he have some contact with Lee Sullivan, I wonder? Well, there's Zach Blackwell now leading the class. He's just been lapped. Yes, we have lost the 23 somewhere. Oh, and Kevin Denwood's off. He was battling for the lead of Class C with Jazz Sapra. What's happened there? That's at McLaren towards Clearways. He's clearly dug into the grass there on the outside. Now, did he spin or has he pulled off? We didn't see. So that's given Jazz Sapra the Class, almost certainly the Class C win. There's just under a minute left on the clock now. There's Dan Butcher-Lord. Has he tangled with Kevin Denwood? Was it a tangle in lap traffic? Steam coming from the 23 car. Try and work out what has happened there. No, I think that's at Druids actually. Couldn't quite tell there. Dan Butcher-Lord's off at Druids, I think. Anyway, Brian Bransom, I can tell he was pulled into the pits as well. They're dropping like flies in the closing stages of this race. Yellow flag at Surtees and McLaren because of Kevin Denwood's car. Jason West's dropped back a little as well. James Card has got ahead of him. I missed that. James Card's got past West. They're coming round to start the final lap this time. Well, fair bit of attrition in the closing stages of this Kumho BMW race. Niall Bradley's heading for victory. 3.1 seconds clear. There he is in the background, and round the outside goes Russell Dack into Paddock Bend. Can he make that move stick? I don't think so. He's gone too wide over the gravel. James Card could steal a podium place here. Has a look up the inside. Nope, doesn't quite get through. Russell Dack getting desperate here. There's the leader, Niall Bradley. He's away and gone, but of course he doesn't score points, so it's the battle behind him for Class A honours that's perhaps just as important. And Russell Dack is throwing his car around. Terrific stuff. Niall Bradley heading for victory. It's not been headed all day today in both races. It's going to be a double for the 47, the Brands Hatch specialist. Originally from Ireland, now based in Kent. Niall Bradley comes home to take the checkered flag. Flashes his lights as he crosses the line now. Who is going to win Class A? Coming across the line now, it's Brad Sheehan who gets the Class A win. There he is, ahead of Russell Dack, James Card and Jason West. The only other car on the lead lap, I think, is going to be Jazz Sapra. He will come in to win Class C, I think. He hasn't come through yet. That's how we've lost him as well. Mini class has been won by Zach Blackwell, number 411, a double win for him today. We'll confirm the results in a few moments' time. As Jazz Sapra now crosses the line to take Class C. Provisional results as follows then. Niall Bradley the winner by nearly 4 seconds ahead of Brad Sheehan. He just held off Russell Dack to take the class win in Class A. James Card and Jason West next home. Jazz Sapra, the only other car on the lead lap, he wins Class C. Then the minis headed home by Zach Blackwell ahead of Piers Henderson and Rob Austin after we lost Dan Butcher-Lord and a couple of others towards the end. James Ford wins Class D in 13th place. And in Class B there were no finishers because we lost Chris Walt midway through, of course. Quite a bit of attrition towards the end there. We lost Brian Bransom into the pits. Kevin Denwood and Dan Butcher-Lord went out. Also Lee Sullivan, Andy Langley, Chris Walton and the two minis that tangle on the first lap as well. Oh, Dan Butcher-Lord has caught fire, unfortunately. Well done, marshals in attendance with the extinguishers. Thought it was steam coming off that car, but no, it has caught alight. We can now head down to Parc Fermé with you.
Thank you, Dave, and what a great way to end the weekend here at Brands Hatch. Another fantastic race and a fantastic day for Brad Sheehan. Brad, come on in. Now, we just saw you open the car door and run into competitors' arms. You are absolutely over the moon, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just good fun, wasn't it? Yeah. It doesn't get closer than that. We've changed the power to weight this year to suit a couple of cars to turn back up. And I was all for it until we had to put the standard engine back in, so I'm well underpowered at the minute, but I'm having to push hard. But it's good fun because it's brought the competition really close. So
I mean, there was a time there was like 4 or 5 of you just nose to tail throughout several laps. That must be just absolutely thrilling, wasn't it?
yeah, I mean, when you're in the front, it's not quite as thrilling as probably what Russell's enjoying himself behind, because he can pick whatever line he wants. But I mean, as long as you guard a couple of lines on the insides, like coming into clearways, for example, that's where they can dive bomb you. And paddock, you've got to keep an eye on it. The rest of it's pretty much trying to drive pretty sensible and block the line a little bit, to be fair.
Perfect way to end the weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, because I had a bit of a bad race one, to be honest, so I was a bit disappointed in myself.
What happened in race 1?
I didn't qualify too well, and we're so close in times, and I couldn't keep up the leaders initially. And then a safety car come out and kind of ruined the whole race, really. But it's one of them things, isn't it? So.
I mean, thankfully today the safety car was at the start of the race and not near the end, so you sort of got out of the way early on if it's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. If it can happen early on and we'll get a fair go again, it's fine. We had a good race. I mean, I don't know how many laps it was, you lose count, but it's a good 8 to 10 laps of us literally bumper to bumper. And I'm looking in my mirrors, I've got a bit of a slide, they're sliding even more. But I mean, to be fair, the track is so slippery with the trucks, and we're quite happy with our lap times because we expect to be a second off what we normally are, and we're not. We're on the time still, so it's all good.
Congratulations, great weekend.
Thank you.
Right, let's go and speak to a few other of our drivers. I'd like to speak to Zach Blackwell, who's won the mini class, actually both at mini classes this weekend. Zach, where is Zach? Where's Zach gone? Where is he? Zach, come on! What are you doing? We want to sort of celebrate with you. 2 wins for the weekend, mate.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, brilliant. Can't really. I mean, that was a tough race because I didn't get a very good jump off the start, and both Daniel and Lee Sullivan jumped me. Managed to have a good battle with Lee. Managed to pass him up at Druids, but it was nice and close. And then, then unfortunately with Dan, he had a car issue, but. It's one of those things in racing, isn't it?
I mean, I think our commentator Dave described it best when he said it's like a war of attrition. They were dropping like flies at the end. It's a matter of hanging on at some point, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. As soon as Dan's car gave up, I realised I had a nice big gap, and then I just backed it right off. I was just like, I could see people were crashing everywhere, so I just backed it off and sort of controlled where I was, and just managed the race. And another solid weekend of points for the championship. So
any celebrations in order tonight?
Chocolate, loads of it.
Easter eggs!
Easter eggs, all of them.
Have a great weekend, mate. All right, enjoy yourself. Thank you.
My family as well to come on out.
Brilliant.
I appreciate that.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you. Right, let's speak to Niall Bradley as well. I'm not sure where his car went, but Niall, where's your car gone? Oh, it's in here, it's in Scruton. Everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I mean, more than okay for the weekend, though.
It was, yeah, really happy. Bit slidey out there, but yeah, really enjoyed that. We made a few changes in between race 1 and race 2. Really helped the car. But no, mega weekend, loved it.
I mean, you won race 1 by a distance. What did you change? Why did you need to change anything when it's that good?
Well, in race 1, I think I won it by maybe 3 or 4 car lengths, but Jason was right on me, and the rear end of the car was just way too twitchy. So we tweaked the suspension to sort of settle the rear down a little bit, because every time I wanted to get back on the power, it wanted to brake, snap off over sneer, if you know what I mean. So it really smoothed that out again, so it helped it, yeah. And
we know your invitation because you can't complete the entire season. What's your next round? When can we see you next?
Not 100% sure. Maybe...
Are you tempted to do the season now, or can you not do that?
No, she won't allow me. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay. Maybe back here again in Snetterton in a month's time. I don't know.
Okay.
But he'll only let me run Invitational for so long. But if not here, or not Snetterton, Kumho, I might do BMW Car Club here.
Okay,
so yeah, we'll see what happens.
Look, congrats, go and enjoy yourself, well done.
Yeah, thank you very much.
There we go. Now, I'd love to speak to also Jazz Sapper in the car number 40. There's his car here. Where's Jazz? Jazz! We've got Jazz. We've got our 4 class winners to end the weekend. Let's go and stand by the machine that's done the job for you. Now, you had a lined up this weekend, Kevin Denwood and yourself. You're like the 2 guys in the C class.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sort of pulled away and didn't finish both races, but it doesn't take away 2 wins for you. What a weekend.
Yeah, it's been good, yeah. You know, Kevin had a bit more legs on the straight.
Yeah.
So, second time I've driven this one.
What?
Second time I've driven this car.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Is it obviously...
It was my son-in-law's car, Sonny Gill.
Ah.
He won it the year before, you see.
Yeah.
So that's I've just come out in this now. So we used the grey one for brick car.
Yeah.
as you know, and keep along with that for 40 minute races. So we'll be in that tomorrow at Setterton Saloons.
You're racing tomorrow?
Yeah, Setterton Saloons.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, does that give you time to celebrate tonight? 2 wins, great weekend?
Yeah, it was a great weekend, yeah. It was good, yeah. Bit lonely sometimes, but it was still all right.
Lonely when Kevin left as well, yeah.
No, well, I think he hit the sausage curb, well, the curbs and the wishbone broke.
Yeah.
I was putting a bit of pressure on him.
All right, brilliant.
Yeah.
Look, go and enjoy yourself. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Cheers, Jazz. Thank you.
Cheers.